On this channel, we have driven Kia's new Carnival to Ipoh. We have driven the CKD models to Penang. We have done a full review of the 11-seater CBU, and we've also done a full review of the 8-seater High. And through all of this experience, we have deduced that Kia's new Carnival is the best large MPV that money can currently buy. However, the question we're trying to answer today is the new Kia Carnival also a very good limousine? My name is AIMAN ABDULLAH, this is Malaysian Motoring, and this is our review of the Kia Carnival 7-seater. Now, we're not going to talk too much about the Kia Carnival because, as I mentioned earlier, we've already done 2 full review videos and 2 preview drives. So we've said everything that needs to be said about this car. But very quickly, the design of the Kia Carnival is a very handsome one. It's certainly more of a statement than the Japanese MPVs that sort of rule this segment, and overall it definitely cuts a very different shape compared to those cars. This car sits lower, wider and longer than those competitors, which means that it does certainly make a statement out on the road. But one of the biggest factors that make us believe that this is the best MPV currently on the market is this engine. While other competitors use either hybrid systems or large petrol engines, this car uses a turbocharged diesel motor, 2.2 litres to be exact, producing just under 200 horsepower and somewhere around 450 Newton meters of torque. And because of that, that gives this car not only fantastic fuel economy, but also excellent performance, both in town and out on the open road. Of course, all of this has been covered in our previous videos. Now, we're not going to talk too much about the cabin of the 7-seater High because, again, we've done all of this in previous videos. But the biggest factor in this car are the rear seats themselves. So in addition to them being wider than the outer pews of the 8-seater, they also come with heating and ventilation, but it also comes with something called Premium Relaxion mode. So by pulling this lever and pushing the seat inboard, like so, and pressing a single button down here, I go into what Kia calls a zero gravity mode. What this means is not only do I get to lean back in total comfort, as I am now, with a little ottoman, which for some reason will not deploy on this car, it means that all of my weight has now been transferred to the seat, which means I'm now a lot more comfortable. And in this position, I have an excellent view out of the sunroof. And of course, with that, I also get these first-class plane style seat headrests, which hold my head in place should I want to take a nap. Now, it's worth noting for those of you who are curious, the Premium Relaxion mode can only be accessed when the 2 middle row seats are pushed inboard via that little lever that I showed earlier, and also when there are no passengers in the back. If a seat belt is engaged in the rear, these seats will not go into their full recline position, and if the seats are outboard, it also will not go into the full recline position. So in this car, you can't get the Premium Relaxion mode if you've got passengers in the back. Though that said, because these seats are electric and adjustable, I can still lie down though. Hardly a bad thing, right? Excuse me, I'm going to take a nap. So, imagine for a moment that you've finished work and now it's time to be chauffeured home in your Carnival. Now, the reason for this test is twofold. One, I want to figure out just how comfortable this car is in this full Relaxion seat mode. And secondly, I also want to check out the fuel consumption. So this car has only just been switched on, so we'll be able to figure out exactly how much fuel we're going to use in this one trip. So for starters, let's talk about the Premium Relaxion seat as I'm being wafted out of our office area. And I think it kind of works. I've got my ottoman extended in just such a way that it's taken off most of the strain from my legs. There we go. And my seat is now set in its furthest recline position. I have the wings on my headrest also extended to hold my head in place. And you know what? It's really comfortable back here. And sure, I don't have a fridge, but I do have access to a cup holder here and a USB port to charge my phone. I have a fantastic Bose audio system with speakers just here so that I can still enjoy a premium audio experience. And overall, it seems pretty nice. If I had to nitpick, I can hear and feel the diesel engine just a little bit at idle. As we're climbing this hill, for example, you can feel a little bit of that diesel clatteriness. But all told, if I was doing this in a Toyota Alphard or a Velfire, this would be a slightly less comfortable experience because those engines have to rev quite hard in order to get up a hill like this, whereas in a car like this, the torque comes in at a very low RPM, so the engine never really has to strain. In terms of quietness, I can barely hear the world outside. The only noise I'm really hearing from here is the sound of the ventilator in my seat, which is keeping me nice and warm, even though I'm in this rather thick blazer. And it's nice. And just for today, I have a driver, so to speak, which is actually our video editor and co-presenter Izzat Shaharil, who is going to be very quiet as he drives me along because I've asked him to be very quiet. It's been a stressful day, so I just want to rest and relax. Now, admittedly, as I'm sat back here, one of the most interesting things actually is that I now have a perspective on life that I've never seen before, which is looking straight up through the sunroof. Now, a lot of Malaysians like to say that sunroofs are not really useful in this country because of our heat. But I can tell you now, sitting in this seat, looking up at the sky, it's very nice. It also means I don't have to pay attention to any of the traffic or any situation that's occurring around me. So I don't have to be stressed if there's a bike, for example, that wants to cut a little bit too close. It's all just very pleasant. So if you excuse me, I'm going to sit back here, and now you're going to see a quick shot of the terrible drive and terrible traffic all the way through. So after a 1.5 hour journey to do 34 kilometers, which is admittedly pretty insane, the Carnival has managed to return about 10 liters per 100 kilometers, which is not great because we know that this car can do better. But given the traffic situation, it wasn't that bad. I was very comfortable in this seat with my ventilated seats in the relaxed position, as you saw earlier, staring out the sunroof for the most part, enjoying the Bose audio system. And my driver come video editor was also quite comfortable up front, I'm told, thanks to this car's very adept ADAS system. So all in all, what can we say about this car? Well, it continues to shine incredibly well compared to its competitors. You still have better performance, better fuel economy, and a more comprehensive suite of active safety features compared to this car's major competitors. This seat, with its premium Relaxion capabilities, its electric adjustment and so on, is also one of the best in the industry thus far. And although I don't have the rear seat entertainment package that you'd expect from, say, a BMW 7 Series or Mercedes-Benz S-Class, compared to the Kia Carnival's natural rivals, this is still a pretty good place to be. If I wanted to nitpick, there is a little bit of road raw that comes in through the rear wheel arches, which is very noticeable when you're lying down. And when you're idling like this, there is a little bit of a rumble that comes from the diesel powertrain. But given that this car is only a little bit over 260,000 ringgit, with the features available, with the comfort on offer, and the Burma's promise of 5 years of worry-free ownership, once again, the Kia Carnival doesn't fail to impress. In any case, that has been our review of the Kia Carnival 7 High. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell icon so you're notified every time we make a new upload. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. All the links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one, and I'm going to go back to my nap.